What is going on, folks, here on the RPG Elite monthly live stream, May 2026? For those of you who are here, or for those of you who just may be stopping by, welcome, welcome, and welcome. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of things. We're going to be taking a look at a family board game, because you guys know I do family board games. I try to keep it within the realm of something that's kind of loosely tied to tabletop RPGs, but mostly lately, I think that is one of the pillars of the channel, is family-friendly board games. You know, when you want to kind of deviate from tabletop RPGs for a little bit, even though I try to keep them kind of tabletop RPG adjacent sometimes, but sometimes, like today, I just go in a totally different direction. It's just a board game, y'all. It's the board game. So we're going to be taking a look at Popcorn, and that is actually I did an unboxing on this, and I'm looking at it right now, but I didn't open it. Right, this is a game from Aiello. It was one of the games that I had seen, and I was like, I think this would be a fun game about movies and stuff, because that's going to tie in perfectly to some other stuff that we're going to cover on the channel today. But the main thing is going to be my boys over at Free League, who came out with an expansion for Blade Runner called Replicant Rebellion. So we're going to be taking a look at that also. I want to turn my camera. Why? Because I think I need to. You see that? Okay. There we go. That's better. I don't know. I can see it. It was looking a little crooked there. So we're going to take a look at that. Might take a break because I'm staying hydrated today. Right here. I don't know nothing about body armor. Okay. Body armor is, I bought this the other day while I was out walking. It's water. They ain't sponsoring the video and nothing like that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it's not just water in here. I've got this electrolyte mix in here along with some creatine. So I'm just saying I'm going to stay hydrated. The only reason why I'm mentioning that is, like, might take a break in between because, you know, got to do that bio thing. So we're going to take a look at there's two things that we're going to take a look at that I'm guessing is inside that box. Again, box hasn't been opened yet, so I don't know. But it's been sitting on my floor for about almost 2 weeks now. And I didn't know whether I wanted to do a separate video or if I wanted to do it for the live stream. And I was like, you know, let's just go ahead and do it for the live stream. May as well. So I'm going to be drinking quite a bit here. So I might be doing bio more than once. Just to keep, my brother, you got to keep it hydrated. You got to look at the skin. You got to keep it hydrated, keep it shining. Okay. And we'll talk about some other things too, whatever comes up in the chat. So Moxie, what's going on, my man? Glad you're around. Let's go and what I'm going to do first, because I always like to save the best for last. Oh, well, I shouldn't say it like that. Well, yeah, I mean, as far as this channel goes, as far as the brand, because it's a tabletop RPG channel, I am going to save the best for last, kind of, sort of, in the order of the two things that we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the game Popcorn. So let's do this. I'm going to turn my light on over here. To put my water in, take my water and get that out of the way. And let's see what we got on for the overhead. And see what that look like. Okay. My overhead, it look a little crooked, doesn't it? Doesn't it look a little crooked to you? Looks a little crooked to me. How about that? That's better. That's better. Okay, so this is popcorn. And so in this, you're like a movie manager, right? And you are supposed to get more people to come to your movie. You can see the line of people going into each movie or whatever that you want them to see. I just thought that was really cool because I am kind of a movie buff, not enough to have my own channel or something like that, even though I could. But and I do, I just don't want, I guess I just don't feel like watching that much because I'm building other things right now. So I probably wouldn't have the time to do something like that. But I do like movies. I got a pretty hefty collection here. What's up, Brad? Okay, see you on the replay, man. Um, so you know, I like, because most of the stuff today that comes out is just does not draw my interest at all. I have a pretty hefty DVD, Blu-ray collection. I still do those. So I can just watch whatever I want to watch. And I like to rewatch stuff. You ever go and you rewatch a movie and you're like, oh, I forgot that part. Yeah, that's why it's good to have it, because when you have a streaming service, I don't know if you knew this, but if you're on a streaming service, they cut stuff out from like old movies and stuff, to be politically correct or whatever and whatnot. So if you don't have the DVD or Blu-ray, they are going to edit uh, what they feel. Can you imagine getting a movie like Tropic Thunder? I don't see how you could even Tropic Thunder. And even now, listen, even the younger generation, when they look at that, if you look at some of the reactions on YouTube, they're laughing because it's funny. Robert Downey Jr. killed blackface. He killed it. I'm sorry. I am telling you, he killed that role. um, so I like movies, and I like watching movies, and I like to even giving my own commentaries, but I don't like it's not that I don't like watch reaction channel people who react to it. I like seeing people who haven't seen a movie and react to a movie that I've seen already. I like that, especially the younger generation, and reacting to, some of the classic movies like Tombstone and Remember the Titans and Taken and all the rest of that stuff. So I like watching that, but I can't, as far as it being like, I'm not real. I mean, that's not real content creation type of stuff, right? I mean, they have to monetize in other ways, and so they have people go over to their Patreon or something like that or whatever. And I don't do Patreon, uh, but I can't see myself doing that. If I was going to do something like that, and it's an idea, I got an idea that I'm going to pass by you guys. So if you catching this on the replay, you can go ahead and leave your view in the comment, and I'll do it later, right? But it's an idea that I've had for quite a while, and it just resurfaced in my mind recently. So I'll try to hit up on that. So remind me if it looks like I'm getting ready to leave and I haven't hit up on that particular thing. But today, first thing is popcorn. It's about movies. It's about being a movie manager and all the rest of that stuff. And like you can see here, I have not opened it yet. And so we're going to take a look on the inside and we're going to see exactly what's going on here. Now, I actually have an overlay that I did not change. So before we get into that, because I didn't change my overlay, because I was just doing Outgunned the other day. So first, let me do this. Let me change my overlay. because this is on my outgunned overlay here. So I'm going to have to pull this up here. You guys are gonna have to see my little setup because I got my laptop. And what's my overlay? That's outgunned. Let's do this one instead, which is just kind of like my regular overlay. But I need to add one for today, the special one for today. So let me grab that real quick. This is the cool thing about live streaming, because I forgot to do this earlier, so you know it is what it is. Where are my overlays? There's my overlays, and where's my one? Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this later because I don't have that overlay over here for some odd reason. Because you know, once we start getting into Blade Runner, you gotta have the whole deal, bro. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, so I'll probably do that once I take a break, and after I take a break or something like that. But we're gonna get into popcorn right now. So, as always, I got my handy dandy trusty dusty right here, and we're just going to very carefully just poke a hole, just tap it in. We're gonna poke a hole right here and scroll down very carefully because I don't want to mess this up. And we're gonna tear this off. Now you can see the stuff on the back here, but it's better if we see it live, right? Let's see what this all looks like. I think this would be a fun game. If you get into movies and stuff like that, I think this would be a very fun game. All right, so we're gonna open this up. Let's take her off here. All right. So, see what we got. I want to set her down. So this looks like the rule book. All right, this is the rule book. And we'll get to this in a second. We got this ticket right here. Welcome to your local cinema. We're delighted to welcome you. Would you like some popcorn to go with the movie? You want to know something? Remember we used to go to the theaters and used to charge an arm and a leg. They really charge an arm and a leg for some popcorn, dude. Like popcorn that you can go to the store right now and you could probably buy a whole bag of popcorn for what? $3-4, which will last you what? Jeez, who knows how many movies? And they used to put that butter, that's not real butter over that they put on. I'm telling you right now, because when I put real butter on my popcorn, when I'm watching a movie, if I'm eating popcorn, it's just something extra greasy about their oils. This guy, or about their butter. I don't know. Movie theater butter just, I don't know. There's something about it. But I genuinely like sitting down with a big stainless steel bowl of popcorn. Like I got one of them Orville Redenbacher things that the popcorn automatically comes out, and I do that twice and it comes in there, and then I put a whole lot of butter on there. So I just, with some, and then you sit down, you kind of watch them. Well, that's just fun, man. That's fun. So it's cool that they do that here with the rule book here. Now we're going to go through the rule book just to see what it is, but let's see the different things that you get here. So this looks like a cardboard cutout. This looks like seats. Okay, they are seats. Okay, and seats for different prices. Okay, I don't know if you could see it. So these are different seats, and they're different prices for the different seats, which I think is kind of cool. So the more seats, obviously, that you could fill up, the more expensive it's going to be. So it's $9. Man, $9. I wish for 3 seats. I wish it was $9 for 3 seats. I wish it was $4 for 2 seats. You see that right there? Oh my gosh. What is it now? with movies. How much does it cost? Like, it's going to be different in different areas, I know, but it's something crazy even for the matinees now. It keeps going up and up and up. I think it's like you can have to pay like a family of four is like $100 or something, or close to it, or $80. It's crazy. I don't know. Okay, right here it looks like a line of people, just lines of people. And it looks like there are different colors here. Got your green, your blue. So it's up to 4 players can play this, I'm guessing. Then you got what looks like golden popcorn tokens here, right? Now, just to let you know, we're just revealing this. We're not doing a playthrough or anything like that. That comes later. Yeah, I'm going to do a playthrough. This is kind of like a revealing, what you get on the inside and all the rest of that stuff. This here, which looks like it was a little bit broken on the side there. Maybe a ticket or something like that. Another token of, what is that? Is that like a fortune cookie? What do you think that looks like right there? It looks like a fortune cookie. I don't know. Like an announcement horn right there. A lot of tokens, a lot of little itty bitty tokens. Obviously, you got your popcorn. Hello. And you got more popcorn. I wonder if, because as I'm looking at it here, right? So you go like this, and it's like little things of popcorn, and then they kind of like get bigger. Huh. Maybe it's for the different seats and the sizes and things like that. Again, we'll go over the rules really quick. And then you got some more of these tokens with the popcorn, golden popcorn things. And then, man, you got a whole bunch of these cutouts. Yikes. Now, I will let you know that later on, I've already got it set up to where me and my right-hand man and my wife and maybe somebody else, if we can get him over here, after today's live stream, I already got it set up to where we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this up and play this game. And then, and I don't know if and I'm not going to record that because my wife doesn't like being on camera. And I don't think Tom likes being on camera either. So, too bad for that. But I will come back and do the video and how these things are supposed to fit together. I might record some of it, but just to let you guys know, I do plan on doing kind of like a how you fit all this stuff together kind of video, and it'll just probably be my hands as we do it because again, they don't like to be on video. But anyway, you've got, and it looks like this might be the theater or the seats. I remember that. Okay, yeah. So this is the seats, and you got 4 of them depending on. Okay, is this 2 or is it just that thick? Man, that is pretty thick. Okay, I get it, because you have to put stuff here, right? So you've got these little cutouts right here that you have to slide stuff into, and there's a cutout here that you have to slide stuff into. That might be where the people thing slides into and all the rest of that. Okay, you got 4 of those. So for 4 players. Gotcha. For those 4 colors. All right. So that's where this comes in. Lots of pieces on this, y'all. Lots of pieces. Oh, wow. All right. So you got your popcorn. I like this. This is neat. Okay. I do like this. I guess this is where you put those little popcorn icons. All right, gotcha. And you got 4 of them, depending on what color that you are. I think it kind of sets like like this. That's what it looks like. So you got this square right here. It looks like it sets in, maybe not quite. Not quite. It's a little loose, but it might be, that might be the place where you set that. All right. And you also have a whole bunch of people. And I'm going to guess that different colors represent so many people because you can't really have like 9 people someplace, right? Oh, there's some more. Oh, well, it just might just represent, well, it depends. Okay, so you have this little pad right here. You have a deck of movie cards here. Not real sure what that is. Put these back here. And a bags, 4 bags for everybody who plays. So 2 to 4 players, I believe this is. Okay, so you have these 4 bags, which I'm guessing that you put some of these tokens into to draw out of. I'm going to guess that it's going to be the popcorn. The little popcorn icons. And you can see my games last me a long time because I take care of my stuff. So my stuff lasts long time. What went here? Anybody remember? I don't remember what went there. Okay, I'm just going to go backwards here in terms of putting all this stuff away again. I'm going to guess these popcorns again are going to go inside of the popcorn thing. Wow, I didn't know all this stuff could fit in here. What went in here? Yes, these are really thick. The tokens are very thick cardstock. Especially for your actual cinema, because it's like double. Because you have to slide stuff into it. So yeah, let's look at why does it always seem like and you guys watch me do it, but it always seems like they don't quite fit when I put them back in pretty much the same order that I got them. I don't get it. Okay. Well, anyway, so you get quite a bit. All right. So I'm going to look at the rules here. Let's look at the rules. So you get a lot of these. So it looks like these are player aid cards. Okay, so that's what those little deck of cards that was wrapped up in cellophane. And I guess it's okay. So this over here is ultimately what it's supposed to look like for your theater. And I guess that you slide in what movie is going to be there. Okay. So you see this right here. And you have all these little things, what it's going to cost, how many popcorns, available. It's movie action. Okay. Available movie actions on this card. You slide in prices and all the rest of this stuff. Okay. Gotcha. First player, I guess that popcorn thing is the first player marker, which is really odd. It never used to. I don't remember that growing up. I don't remember. We just kind of like do a roll off, right? Whoever rolled the highest, they were good. They were going to go first, and then we went in clockwise direction. Now you got a player marker that does that. That's kind of like a new, like more modern invention in terms of that. But all right, I guess it helps a little bit. I mean, I've got a couple of games that have that kind of thing. All right. So let's just do the overview and the goal, because again, I don't want to make this into a gameplay video. So it says here, Popcorn is a bag building game, 2 to 4 players. You each manage a movie theater, and you want to show the best movies to satisfy guests. You would think that, who needs this? Hollywood. For real, they probably will lose half the pieces. That happens, right? Remember back in the day, for those of us who are here, that has been here for a while, you remember some of the toys and stuff we used to have, toys and games and stuff like that. One of the toys I used to have back in the day, I don't know why they would make this for kids my age, 3rd grade, 4th grade type of stuff. Remember Light Bright? Right? I even remember the commercial, the jingle. Light Bright, making things with light. That stuff that you just remember from your childhood, right? You remember the pieces for that thing? They were like this big. It was like, you're going to give that to like an 8-year-old and expect them to keep them all in order? Right. So at least these pieces are much bigger, so I can see how this is definitely a family type game where for grown-ups as well. Okay, so it says you manage a movie theater, show the best movies. Hollywood needs this, like I said before. I mean, well, you need to make the best movies first. But anyway, and also gain as much popcorn as possible. So I guess that's the currency. The game plays over around 9 rounds. 9 rounds. Wow. Each with 3 phases. That is a lot of phases. That is a lot. Let me go to the front of this thing. So it says 2 to 4, ages 10 and over. It takes about an hour. Okay, I can see that. And it says then it says in turn order, you may buy a movie, build a theater, and attract new guests. And then simultaneously welcome your customers and seat them in your theaters. That just sounds so cool to me. Optimize their seats to take the best actions, which will let you improve your cinema, influence your guests, grow your audience, and gain money and popcorn. Okay, so I guess you do gain like money. At the end of the last round, the player with the most popcorn wins the game, hence the name of the game. All right. And then you got the setup and everything. And like I said, this is not a playthrough video. It's kind of like an unveiling video to see what's on the inside. I see these little seats just look, I don't know, they just look kind of cool to me. I like them. I don't know what they mean because they have these different things on them. So obviously you're going to have to go and play the game. I love this concept. You manage your own theater. You want better movies. Did you guys see anything in here in terms of the movies themselves? Like, I didn't see the movie. Like, you remember this? Let me show you a picture that I'm talking about. At the very beginning here. So you see this right here? Right? It says the world after this right here. I haven't seen that. Oh, maybe that's what these are. I didn't show these. Okay, maybe that's what these are. Yes, I'm guessing. I think this might be it. This little pack over here. I think. Because on the other side, it has something weird. I don't know if that's a movie or not. What do you think that is? Let's open it up real quick, because I think you can close these back up in here. Where's it at? Because now I'm curious. Okay, yeah, you can just see what's in here. Nah, these are something else. I don't know what that is. Because they all look the same, but they got different numbers on them. Okay, I have no idea what this is. I still don't know what I put in here. Or if there was something in here. And I don't see any, like, movies themselves, right? Unless, no, they wouldn't be in here because these right here these are not the right size. And it's certainly not these. And these are the bags. Huh. Am I missing something? Because I don't see any movies. Interesting. Well, I'll find out later on when we play, because I don't actually see, unless you guys point something out to me or maybe I'm missing, but I don't actually see the actual movies. So how they get revealed or something like that, or they're on the back of these or something? I still don't see it. All right. Well, I will tell you later when I go through and play this and we do a playthrough, because I don't see that. I don't see that. Okay. But, uh-oh. I dropped it. But it looks like this would be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to this. So it's a lot of little cardboard cutouts, a lot of stuff that you can set up, but it's not too cumbersome because the cards are only like that big. You guys saw the cards. They're not that big. So it looks like it's pretty easy to set up. You could probably set it up in about 10 minutes or so, and especially once you get used to it. But like I said, it's 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. It's an hour game, and I like it. I didn't know it was 9 rounds and 3 phases each round, which is quite a few, which is probably why you only have 4, because that would last quite a bit. I'm going to guess that, well, you want to know something? It probably wouldn't last that long. It depends on what the phases are and all the rest of that stuff and how long everything is in that regard. So I'm looking forward to this. This might be one that you like. This looks to me like one that you may want to pick up if, for example, you just like movies and you like that kind of, you have people who are like movie buffs in your house, or you have friends and stuff like that, and you guys, it says end of the world. You see all this stuff right here? This is the kind of stuff I didn't see any of this. And I don't know if it actually is supposed to be in the game. So that's another thing too. But we'll get that in a minute. I got my rules and then it slid all the way over on the side of on the floor. Goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to playing this later on. It looks fun. It just looks like just a little fun game you could play for an hour, kind of lose yourself in this. And you probably when you first play it, probably gonna be more like an hour and a half because you got to figure out how to play it and stuff. But after you play it one time, you're probably going to want to play it over and over. I wonder if there's any expansions on this. You know what I mean? Like you get different movie packs, like action movies and dramas and sci-fi and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool. At least another way to keep monetizing the game. All right. Popcorn. Looking forward to playing that, y'all. Looking forward to playing that. Okay. Well, now we might as well do the big boy, shall we? Blade Runner, y'all. Blade Runner. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, and I'm going to have to go and actually get my overlay for this because you got to do this right. But anyway, we'll do an unboxing of it because again, you guys are seeing this first time just like me because I saved it particularly for this live stream. Even though I was tempted, I was tempted more than once to crack this open. Because I got a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about in reference to Blade Runner. But first, let me do this. Let me get my overlay for this particular one because this is a wonderful thing about live streams is that you can chop them up and make extra content. So for people who never discovered you, they think it's like some new content or something and you didn't do the work again. So you could do a whole lot of videos just from one live stream. That's how you see a lot of these cats. You're like, how are they putting out so many videos? Yeah, they just did a live stream, chopped it up. That's all. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. But in order to do this right, I gotta have that. I gotta have that overlay. We gotta have the Blade Runner overlay, man. So let me go, and I'm gonna go and grab that, and then I'm gonna come back here. We're gonna unbox this new expansion. I'm also gonna go ahead as I'm gone. I'm gonna grab the actual game itself, all the stuff that I have for this game, just so you guys can see. Because there's one. Did I open up? I don't know if I ever opened up Fiery Angels or not. I know I've done a video on it, so I must have opened it up. So I'm going to get all the stuff that I have, and we'll take a look at that first, and then we're going to open up the new stuff. And what I'm really excited about, the asset pack and the solo mode. Free League has really been doing some cool stuff with solo mode. So they have specific solo modes for some of their games. One they have for the Electric State. which is actually in the book. Now, that's the first time I ever seen that, where they actually put the solo system inside of the core book. But that is part of the Electric State. They also have one for my favorite, one of my favorite games of all time, Vaesen. They have one for that. And now they've got one for this new solo mode. And I'm really looking forward to that because for those of you who are on the channel, you guys know that I do Solo RPG Chronicles, which is over on Substack. And that's got a special thing over here on my YouTube memberships for the Elite Division. And it's Solo RPG Chronicles broadcast. And so I'm playing different games right now. We're doing Outgunned. I just came out with an episode earlier today. So if you want longer videos, then besides these live streams, then that's where you're going to get it. Plus a whole bunch of other stuff that we talk about over there. And I've played Blade Runner once. I'll tell you about that as we go through this stuff. So but first, let me go ahead. I'm going to grab this overlay. We're going to do this right. And then we'll come back and we'll just lay it all out on the table here right in front of us. And then we'll do this unboxing and take a look what's on the inside of this new expansion. So I did go ahead and do that, and I have to switch this up again so we can make sure that the overlay is just, you know, you got to keep the theme, y'all. The only way to change it is to come over here and add it. So let me go ahead and let me change this up. So when we come over here, it'll look sweet, which is the whole point, right? Oh, I didn't believe I didn't have this. Like I had made it. I knew I had made it, but I didn't understand why I didn't have it. Okay, so I got to switch stuff around here in terms of where it's at. And it probably needs to be there, right? All right. So we're gonna come back to this, right? But you gotta have the right theme. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do it right. All right. So I have here the Blade Runner core book, and let's go ahead and do that. So I have the Blade Runner core book here, right? And I remember when I first got this, now understand, I don't like, I've said this many times, and I'll say it again, I'm not a fan. Okay? Not a fan of the movies. Like the first one I got through the first one. It wasn't bad. I really thought that this science fiction, the sci-fi effects, I thought that was impressive. Still, today, if you go and you look at that, it's like, wow, them cats were putting it down on some good stuff on that. The world and stuff itself, it was okay. Maybe it was the script, maybe some of the acting. And it has some actors in that, right? You had your Harrison Ford, Daryl Hannah, Rutger Hauer, was it James Ramos Olmos, or I think that's his name. So you had some, I don't know, it was okay. The second one I couldn't do. I could not do the second Blade Runner. I couldn't do it. However, when I got the game and I started looking at the game, I was like, well, the game sounds more interesting than the movies, and I ain't seen the movies. So I'll give you some context here. I had one of the guys that I used to play with. He said, I have the game. I was like, well, you want to run it? Because with Blade Runner, it's supposed to be a very small group. This is not something for like huge groups. And a huge group for Blade Runner would be, 3 or more, to be quite honest. It's really made for a very small group. 3 is kind of like the max you want to go at, but it's really made for kind of like a 2-tiered thing. You can run 3, but I wouldn't run more than 3, right? So this is really, it's made for a smaller group. And because you are encouraged to break up, you're encouraged to go in different directions and, do different missions, or actually cases. So investigate these different cases. So you're encouraged to do that. And you don't want to do that. You just don't want to do that with a huge group. You've probably done this before and it just didn't work out well. Never works out well. That's why we always say back in the day, you don't want to break up the group. To break it up into 1 or 2 or 2, that's not too bad. But once you go, everybody want to go their own way because everybody wants to be like, well, I don't want to mess with player agency. That's not messing with player agency. That's making life simpler for everybody involved. And everybody just going along and going with the flow with that. This encourages you to do that. You kind of have to in many cases. And so when we're looking at, if you've never seen Blade Runner itself, so you have this glossy cover. And a lot of their stuff is more matte finish covers, but you have this glossy cover. And since we already did the overlay, man, we might as well go ahead and use the overlay, right? Because I did all that work to do that. So then this is the inside. So this is LA. You're part of the RDU and in LA. Inside semi-glossy cover or semi-glossy pages. It's put together pretty well, pretty standard for Free League stuff. How it looks, this looks very similar to if you ever gotten any of their games like Alien or something like that. They do a fantastic job giving you the lore and everything. And I like how they talk about the key themes down here being sci-fi action, character drama, corporate intrigue. Okay, so you know what that signals? That this is a role-playing game. Like if you're not into actual role-playing, which I'm doing a series right now with the RPG Elite philosophy on that. So if that's not a thing for you, this is not going to be the thing. If you're a min-maxer, combat, okay, this is a grown-up game and you have to actually think through things and, all the rest of this. All right, this is not going to be for you. This is not going to be one of those games for you. This is, and you really can't make it into that. When we played, I had my guy who I used to play with. He ran the game. I normally run it, but he ran it, and I was a character, and another one of us who were in the group, he was a character. He had his character, so it was just two of us. Bro, I had such a good time. We recorded it, and we never finished it because he left the group because he works for a guy who makes a lot of money. I'm going to say that. Guy wanted him to go head up this division in some other place, and it was going to require him to work on Saturday. So that put the kibosh on him playing with us anymore. I still try to keep in touch with him, but he's really busy. And so I get it, but he ran it and we recorded it. His audio isn't that great, and so I'm going to have to do something extra special and try to get that. But I would have put that up on the Elite Division. However, since we didn't finish it, I'm going to put that up on the main channel. And we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and have that up on the main channel, but it won't be the entire thing. Because the entire thing, I think it's like 2.5 hours. So I'm just going to chop it up into different episodes. But you guys can see the gritty. I had such a good time. He did a great job, by the way. And we've been wanting to play again. And so that's why it's real important for me to look at this solo thing that's coming, that we're going to be able to open, because I love the game. Not a fan of the movies, but I really love the game. But you can see how it's laid out here, how you do your characters. I really like how they do this, because this is not and these are different, your different archetypes and stuff like that. Pushing the roll, all that stuff is pretty similar to their year zero engine. So you could see some of the things that they make here. So, okay, that's creating your Blade Runner there. Have your different archetypes here. You can roll it or pick it. I picked mine. And they have all these tables to go ahead to pick your character or to do your character. And then they have all the different archetypes and what they are. And you can choose specific things here, or you can make them up. I mean, if you've got something in your mind. And they've got plenty of them for you. Got your skills and specialties, how to do different roles, pushing your role. So that's similar with a lot of Free League, the whole push your role thing. Ranged combat, how you do combat. They do critical injuries and stuff, so stuff gets really dangerous in their games, especially like Bastion. They do the same thing. They got the vehicles, they do vehicle combat. Really digging that. Chases, another thing I really like. I like it when tabletop RPGs have a good chase mechanic. And I do like their chase mechanic in here. You can see here they've got a couple different tables for aerial vehicle chase obstacles, and then you got your ground vehicles chase obstacles. These are really cool, man. This is cool. And this is what I'm talking about. You get the entire package. And even if you don't have that within the game itself, whatever tabletop RPG, it should, you're playing this in your head. You're not here anymore. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people misunderstand. Is like you're not even supposed to be here. Like when you play a tabletop RPG, you're not even supposed to be here. It's supposed to be somebody else, someplace else. And that's the beauty of this. It's like, oh, I could just kind of relax, take my mind off of this stuff, and take a mental vacation. When you use tabletop RPGs in that way, it becomes a mental rejuvenation. It shouldn't be a whole bunch of stress and stuff at the table because of people and whatever. At that point, then you probably have some people at the table that should be there. But again, you can go ahead and follow along with the RPG Elite philosophy on that, on my videos on that. So this is kind of like news and lore, from the movies, obviously. But it's really, I enjoyed, and they even put it in the right place because they actually put the character creation at the beginning, which it should be, because a lot of these games today are putting them like at page 80 and 100 and stuff. I'm like, bro, the first thing people want to do is you find out a little bit about the lore and maybe the basic mechanic, but then after that, how do you make a character? I don't understand that, why they have a lot of people. There's a lot of that going on in a lot of the modern games where they just wait until halfway in the book before you can even make a character. Makes no sense to me. Anyway, they have the different sections of Los Angeles here, and some different maps. And the cool thing, depending on who you are, some people, they like doing theater of the mind, and some people, they like doing maps and things like that. I like doing a kind of a hybrid. It just depends. Like if it's not a major battle or something like that, and it's just, one or two enemies, okay, there's no reason to pull out a map and set all that up. I mean, that's just bogs down the story. But if it's about to go down, you know, and you could see that this might be a protracted battle. Okay, now it's time to break out the battle mat and do all the rest of that stuff, because positioning is important and all the rest of that, and that will just help it flow faster. So it depends on the situation, but they do have some nice looking maps in here, which you can go ahead, if you've got the digital version of this, you can go ahead and take these particular maps and then put them in, and you can kind of trace over them and put all the stuff that you want to put in there, and have the actual original maps looking a little bit more 3D-ish if you've got something like Dungeon Alchemist, or you've got something like Chronos Builder, something like that. Or even some of the other ones. What is it? Incarnate now has a lot where you can use, you can actually create battle maps in there. So it depends on whichever one, Dungeon Draft, whatever floats your boat. But they have the different sectors and all the rest of this stuff. Some of the people that you've seen in the movies they're in the books here. So they do a really, really good job covering this stuff. And you got your tools of the trade. The tools of the trade was one of the most fascinating things because it did such a good job with this. This is very important. It's called the KIA, which is your Knowledge Integration Assistance. This thing right here is major. This is major. Don't lose this. It's a big deal. Even the badge is a big deal to a degree, but this is even more so. I mean, you get your information. Just it's kind of like having a smartphone where you have all your information, but it's specific, So it's kind of like having all the cloud and like AI at your fingertips, like we do today, but it's just as a bigger device. And they've got all the rest of the other things that you've seen in the movies, and plus some extras, obviously. But that's definitely from the movie there. So they've got all your equipment and things like this. Super dope, dude. This is just really, really, really cool. So this is the core book. And again, this is running about 226 pages, it looks like. So this is, you need, and they have a starter set for this too. Now, I don't have the starter set, which is surprising. So for other things, I do have the starter set. I mean, they can, you know, they hook a brother up. I have zero complaints about Free League at all. They always hook me up, and I always love covering their products, and I always push their products, bar none. My favorite tabletop RPG publisher, hands down. This is not even a question. Um, yeah, visuals help for people who are non-readers, or especially, okay, obviously you're gonna have to have an imagination, right? And so, but for some people, I'm just keeping it a Benjamin here, so this is not to cast shade on people. It's just some people don't have as vivid an imagination as others. So visual aids and things like that, which help them picture this. Plus, there's another thing that visual aids do too. It's so everybody has the same picture in mind, right? So, especially for those key things where you need for everybody to have the same idea in their minds and not for everybody to kind of think, well, um, they might be thinking that it looks a different way than what somebody else thinks. So you give them that visual aid. Like if you have a BBV or something like that, okay, that's something that you need a visual aid for that. You want them to know what this guy or what this guy or gal looks like, right? So, then give them a visual aid. If they're going to be someplace for you know, a length of time, more than just a second, right? If things might go down or whatever, give them a map. It might not be a battle map. And I think that that's the thing right there. I think a lot of people think that every time you bring out a map, it needs to be a battle map. No, you just need to know where you're going, right? And it might be something where you can lay it down and just reveal certain sections of it as they go to it. But it doesn't necessarily mean there's about a battle is about to break out. The map itself is the visual aid. So they just know where stuff is, right? So it just depends, because I know that there's some people who'll be like, oh, it's, you know, I just do theater of the mind. I was having this conversation, and this was years ago at this point. I was having this conversation with somebody, and he's an individual who actually makes tabletop RPG accessories. And we were talking one time, and he came out and he had said, you know, I think people who just do straight theater of the mind, and he's played as long as I've played, or just about, he goes, you know, I've come to the conclusion that, you know, I've played in those campaigns and stuff. I just come to the conclusion that these guys are just lazy. And I agree. I mean, come on. Just total theater of the mind where you could really enrich and immerse people in the story as it develops at the table and really help people really get into it. But you want to know what that takes? Yep. It takes work. It takes prep time. And I get it. And some people are just straight lazy, and it's a whole lot easier just to be like, oh, it's just theater of the mind, and we're just gonna be around the table and whatever. It's like, for some of that stuff, yeah. Even I would say for a large portion of it, you going back and forth or whatever, yeah. But for some of that stuff, if you want to make the experience, you care about your players and you care about just everybody around the table, to be quite honest. Okay, well, let's make this a little bit more enriching. Add a visual aid here. Major battle about to go down. Let's see what's going down. Let's see what's going on, right? Make sure everybody's on the same page and see the same thing. So I agree. I am totally agreeing that most of and that's been my experience as well. The people who just do theater of the mind are just lazy, and then I think it just adds more. It bogs down the story because people now have to ask all these kind of questions just so to make sure that they're getting the right thing, picture in their mind or whatever. Where you just put a picture down and it'll be like, there it is, and it just moves faster. So visual aids many times can help your sessions move faster. All right, well, let's get back to this. So this here is the core book. Then they had another expansion that came out. That expansion was called Fiery Angels. And it says it's case file number 2 because case file number 1 comes with the starter set, which I don't have. But So this is case file number 2. Of course, they did a fantastic job putting this together. And look at this, man. And it is a case. So it is a little bit of a campaign. It's a case. As you can see, looks very similar to, I'm not going to show you everything because you want to go out and get it because it's an actual case. But you have that. And guess what you got? There it is. You got them visual aids. There you go. So you got a visual aid here. Now this is a neighborhood right here. It's a dock neighborhood right here called Shantytown. This is, remember Wallace, the Wallace Corporation, right? So these are the executive suite of Wallace. It actually goes like this, but you guys are going to not be able to see the whole thing. But this is the executive suites here of that, which you will be in. There's another visual aid here for this. The Yukon Hotel. You got quite a few visual aids. It doesn't mean that something's going to go down. It's just so you can see things, so you can have the same, everybody has the same picture in mind. It just helps things go smoother and faster. And then there's a couple other visual aid things here. And then you've got the RDU rep detect. And I think this, I don't want to show. Not quite yet. I'm not going to show that one. You should probably go out and just get it. They have some cards for you, just for people who, because if you want to play the characters that actually come with this, right? Then you're going to use those cards. So that is the second case file that they have called Fiery Angels. And again, they got the starter set and all the rest of that. Now, today, I know you've been waiting, right? You've been patient. So let's get to it. I got a box. It's kind of heavy. It's a little heavy now, y'all. But we got the handy dandy trusty dusty. So let's go ahead and let's just get right into it. I'll cut this bad boy open. Ta-da! Oh, I always love opening up new stuff, especially from Freely. Oh, they sent me some stuff for Vassin too, not too long ago. Oh, I can't wait to do. Oh my gosh, what is it about this company? For real, it's like they put out games meant for me. It's crazy. Like they're making me like a game, and I didn't even like the movie. But my experience, and you guys will see this once I get the video edited and everything, and you guys will see my experience going through that was just so dope. I just really enjoyed myself. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's open her up, y'all. Take out the paper here. What's that smell? Is it this? Okay, I think it might be that. Oh, suka now. Oh, suka. Ooh, nice. Man, how many? 1, 2, 3. 3? 3. Yeah, it would be 3. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the side, right? We're going to change it over to the overlay so we can check it out, y'all. So the first one is like this must be an entire campaign. This is Replicant Rebellion right here. And this is like the core book, y'all. This ain't playing. They are not, it's not as long, but I mean, it's 170 pages. Wow. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Like when the core book is like let me grab the core book again. 207 is 200 something pages that I just said. Okay, 226 pages, and this is by itself is 170. This is a major deal. So this is a big deal. Them coming out with this is a major expansion. So it's not like Fiery Angels. Let's crack it open, y'all. It's the same type of deal. They got a glossy on the outside, hardcover. Let's read up and see what this is about. So it says here, you never know if Blade Runner. Oh no, this is no, that's not it. I want to get a kind of like an overview of what this is about. Fires of Orcs. Okay. When people learn that I speak for the underground, they ask, what do they want? What are they fighting for? It's simple, and yet so very complex. The incontrovertible truth is that replicants are bioengineered. The Wallace Corporation and those beside and before them invest time, money, and resources into the vast operations and innovations necessary to create each and every replicant. What is also true is that there is a generational sickness deep within the philosophy of the replicant trade. The replicant industry has spent trillions to wow, trillions? Really? Wow. To convince the system that replicants are infinite and expendable resource. Since day one, customers have been indoctrinated to believe that replicants are consumer goods, objects to be used, abused, broken, and rebought. The underground does not want the replicant industry to end. We do not deny the obvious benefits to society. We simply want all Nexus to enjoy the same civil rights and liberties as any other laborer. And there we go. There we go. That's, and it's more here, but you get the gist. You get the gist. As it stands, replicants are born into servitude without any hope of release or reprisal, without any say regarding who they serve, what they do, if or how they are compensated, the conditions in which they work and live. Even their memories are fabricated and forced upon them long before their first breath. The replicant industry is the largest socioeconomic power in the system, wielding more stake and sway over our way of life than any other. And this entire house of cards is built upon one tenet, which you must accept or otherwise commit to tearing it all down. Replicants are disposable. We disagree. This is what this is about. Hence, Replicant Rebellion, right? Now we can call it a rebellion. I don't know if it's a rebellion. It depends on what your particular campaign is going to be about. But this right here is a major expansion. Like setting it within this world, within the world of Blade Runner. And I guess I could have just read this here. But okay, so we get more information here. So let me read this to you guys. It says the Replicant Underground is a militant political movement that opposes and seeks to overturn the laws and regulations regarding replicant technologies. Here it is, y'all. It was good up until this last part. By any means necessary. Okay. Established in the early 2000s, the sympathy movement began as a nonprofit organization. This is like most, right? Most stuff starts off good until it says replicant movement began as a nonprofit organization lobbying for replicant labor rights through a law-abiding special interest group. On the surface, these extremists secretly ran a clandestine network of trafficking routes, safe houses, and financial sponsors that illegally harbored replicants in flight from service or retirement. This radicalized underground continued to expand its criminal enterprises and espionage over the years, facilitating multiple terrorist attacks against the replicant industry. Yeah, well, there you go. Now you understand what you're in, right? If you would have read that first part, right, it would have been like, oh, that sounds like something that might be a little bit legit until you get into the nuts and the. This is something that, see, this is why this game is not for people who min max and all the rest of that stuff, or they don't like to tackle these adult type topics. They say, because some people say adult type topics, and then all they do is just spout profanity and all the rest of this stuff and add a whole bunch of nonsense. That's not adult. That's just vulgar and depraved in many cases. All right, this is adult. We have to deal with thinking through these things, right? And you don't mind that, right? You don't mind that. You want to be like, okay, how would my character survive in this world? How would we do this? Would you be a replicant? Like, I think the guy that Tom is playing, which is my right hand man, uh, in the one that we are doing, it's called Dreamcatcher. Um, I think he's a replicant and doesn't know it. And it, you have to get that's like Blade Runner, and you have to get the core book because you can make a replicant, but you can make a replicant thinking that doesn't know that it's a replicant, right? So you make a normal character, right? But only the GM knows whether you're a replicant. They make this secret roll or whatever, right? And if it comes up a certain thing, then they're a replicant. They don't tell you. It'll just play out throughout the campaign. And then one day it gets revealed. So it's just like the first uh, Blade Runner. It gets revealed that you're a replicant. Super dope. I really like that. But now we get the idea of what's going on with this replicant. It is actually a replicant rebellion. You got terrorist attacks and all the rest of this stuff. I mean, this is some Antifa type stuff. In 2023, the organization was finally discredited by the UN as a threat to national security and public safety. As part of the Replicant Prohibition Act, that same year, the UN then expanded the LAPD's replicant detection unit. So that's basically that you're a part of when you create your character, with a new intelligence gathering task force to suppress any individuals, entities, or organized criminal enterprises aiding and abetting in the obstruction of the Replicant Prohibition Act, including the illegal harboring and trafficking of replicant fugitives and technologies. The task force's ensuing campaign incarcerated a majority of the Underground's key members and financial sponsors, effectively disbanding the Underground for over a decade. After the UN repealed the Replicant Prohibition Act in 2036, so what is that, 13 years later, the Underground and its once defunct sympathy movement resurfaced. Through figureheads for the sympathy movement have once again found a voice in the political discourse, the Underground now largely acts as a decentralized criminal network, so there's still criminals, of independently operated cells throughout Los Angeles. This is what this is all about. So it goes through a timeline here all the way back to the 1990s. And so probably some good reading here when it talks about re-education. It comes to 2022, goes past, and goes all the way up to 2036 here. Okay. All right. So let me go back. So I thought I had you guys on there. But so you have here, you got Holding the Tide. And then you've got the background. Like I said, it goes all the way back to the 1990s. And then it closes up here into 2036. And then you have right here what's called The Cause. All right. That picture is dope, by the way. Man. That picture is really dope. So you have stories there. Is this the same artist? Because it does not look like it. I think they might have used a different artist for this one. Okay, I think they did. So this is 2037, by the way. So I guess you could be a replicant. Here is your key themes, right? So here we go again with the key themes. In this particular one, you got your sci-fi action, you have your character drama, same thing, political intrigue. See, if you're not into that kind of stuff, then this is again, this is for people who like to think in their campaigns. Moral conflict, defiance. Now, all these things could let's keep it a Benjamin. All these things could be in just about any tabletop RPG if you let it. But some people, some people just don't like going there. You Fallen Angels, which was there was Fiery Angels. I thought there was another one called Fallen Angels. So this is again, you get to create your character. But I'm thinking these are different types of replicants. Your rebel, because they talk about rebel. And you could be either a human or a replicant who are pro replicant in this, this rebel type thing. So it's the same type of thing, but you have some different, it looks like you have some different archetypes here. Okay. You have different archetypes. It's very similar in how you create your character, but these are different, maybe different types of tables. Check this out, dude. This is major. This is actually a major expansion. It almost reminds me of the core book, right? You're obviously going to need the core book in order to do the rules, but it looks like the core book. Okay, so here are some extra archetypes that you got, y'all. So we've got the Doctor. That's a new archetype. You have the powder keg. What's a powder keg? You're a live wire sparking in a bubble bath of rum and rubber ducks. Your fuse is as short as your life will likely be, but that's the fun of playing with you. Man, that's somebody who's got some issues. The power broker. Oh. You were born into the uppermost echelon of high society, but that's not why you get what you want. You've always been an insatiable social climber and conqueror. Wow. That sounds interesting. I might make another character just to have that. The Siren. Okay. You always did what you were told, but not anymore. You were engineered as a weapon. To their credit, their work is impeccable. You are a poem of sadism. Ooh. Killing with claws or Cupid's arrow with effortless poise and precision. Yikes. All right. The Street Rat. We didn't have anything like that in the core book. Yeah. They've got this looks just like the core book. The Tank. Oh man. This is tripping me out. Okay, so they've got an expansion on the archetypes. So you've got more archetypes that you can choose from. You can use this, not necessarily running through everything here that's in the Replicant Rebellion, but this is a lot of added stuff, bro. It's a lot of added stuff. This is interesting. That's an interesting look, right? Huh. A life between light and shadow. Got some, that looks like my character a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of like politics, the media, megacore. And this one here is the sympathy movement. This is a different artist, by the way. I know the look. It's similar, but not the same guy. Operations on how the sympathy movement is. Heat. Heat, that's different. Heat is different. This is a new mechanic here called Heat. This reminds me of Outgunned. Outgunned has a mechanic called Heat. And it's when things kind of like ramp up in the campaign, you add more heat, more heat, more heat. I'm going to guess that's pretty much the same concept here. Let's read a little bit about heat. The law is a constant threat to the underground. LAPD officers are always patrolling the streets, and Blade Runners are ceaselessly on the prowl, following your every move, chasing every lead, and ready to pounce and pull their blasters the moment you trip up and fall within firing range. The heat level represented on a scale from 1 to 6 indicates how active law enforcement. Yeah, so it's how much heat is being brought down on your rebellion, because you're part of the rebellion, is what this is supposed to be. And so how much heat is on the streets in terms of them investigating any leads or things like that that have to do with the rebellion. This is a new mechanic that's specifically for this. That is not in the. This is really interesting to me. It really is, because I guess it is how you like your table. I'm an RPG elite, okay? Hence the name of the channel. And so I like different types of immersive experiences. Sometimes I like the kind of heroics, super heroic type of stuff, right? Sometimes I like the kind of gritty investigation type, uh, and I like some of the supernatural stuff. That's why I love Vastin so much. And it's investigative, right? So it's not just, I do not like, we're just going to do another battle, and we do another battle, and we do another battle. That just doesn't do anything for me at all. That's why I never got into wargaming, right? It doesn't do anything for me. And trust me, yeah, I understand. You guys know I understand the whole tie to wargaming, but that's not the same. It really is not the same. A role-playing game is not a war game, right? And this is why this is why I love these guys. They get it. They get it in all of their games. And I don't cover all of their games, right? There's some games I don't have. But I have the vast majority of them. Like I don't have Coriolis, the new one. The dark I can't think right now. But it's basically Coriolis 2.0. I have the first one, but I don't have the second one. But I want it. It's not like I don't want that one. That's the space sci-fi / supernatural type stuff, to be honest. They just Free League, you have your favorite publishers. Everybody have their favorite publishers. Go ahead and put in the chat, if you're watching, put in the chat your favorite publisher. Who's your favorite publisher right now? Like, when they put out something, you're probably going to go and grab it, or at least check it out. Put that in. Mine obviously is Free League at the moment. And we'll keep going with this, but they get me. They really do, for the most part. They have another one called Cover. I'm guessing that you go undercover, so you could be undercover as part of the rebellion in the RDU, which is dangerous. That would be dangerous, but I'm sure there are some of those. And that's what it looks like it is. The wrong risk or misplace your trust, and the RDU may pick up your scent. As heat rises, you risk compromising your cover, making you less useful for the rebellion. Yeah, so these guys are infiltrating different places or whatever. Turf, there are a lot of different mechanics in this. This is a big deal. This expansion is a big deal. So it's not that you're just getting a couple other things. You're getting the whole kit and caboodle on this, man. That looks nice, by the way. You got some new gear and weapons. Man, they did a bang up job on this. You have different connections. And then you've got operations. So an operation is, I guess, when they go and do these kind of hits and things like that, that they're trying to either make themselves known. I guess they have different things. For the core book, what it is that you are a Blade Runner. That is what the core book is about. So you're a Blade Runner, obviously. With Replicant Rebellion, you're not a Blade Runner. You are part of this rebellion. Or you could be a Blade Runner who's part of the rebellion, which would be just so weird. But that's part of that would be your cover, right? And you kind of let members go so they can do whatever they need to do, all the rest of this stuff, maybe run interference, being part of the RDU or something like that. So that would be kind of cool. I got Cyberpunk La Femme Nikita. Cyberpunk, okay. So that's, everybody's got their favorites, right? We all have our favorites. And this right here, this is dope. This is really dope. Wow. To create an operation. So this is basically creating yourself, your quest or mission or whatever. They had a whole section with tables and the whole nine. You create your own. And then they have looks like this is an operation right here. So they have, I wonder how many operations they have in this. That's one, that's two. They have some other stuff. There's three. So I'm going to guess that these operations are kind of like a campaign that link together. Wow, that one is long. This is 5. I must have missed 4. 4 must have been on this side or something. Oh, here's 4. Wow, they have like 5 different operations at the end. So this is kind of like a campaign. This, folks, Replicant Rebellion. All right, this is not what I expected. I expected this to be, I don't know why I was expecting this to be more something like Fiery Angels or something like that, like the box set. This is not that. This is way more than that. This is much more than that. This is if you want to, this is truly a great expansion to expand it to include other elements within your world. You can start, maybe somebody starts off as a Blade Runner, right? Find out like they are a replicant, because maybe they joined the RDU, it was legit for a while, thought, because the memories that get put into their minds, they thought that they were, human. Find out that they're not. Find out that they get, they're being used like this. And so they become a plant for the Replicant Rebellion, and they start working for them. And you could bring all that side into your campaign. That's super cool. This is great. This is good. This is good. This right here, just with the core book, you're good to go. You're good to go. You don't even have to get the Fiery Angels case. That's just a case. This here is a true expansion, and it's dope. This is super dope. Oh, man, maybe I should have ran. I'm running a Mutant Year Zero campaign, but maybe I should have ran a Blade Runner. But anyway, I didn't run a Blade Runner one because I was hoping beyond hope that Sean would come and we would continue the other one. But anyway, so that is Replicant Rebellion. We have 2 more things in here. We have the asset thing, we have the asset pack, and the solo mode one. So let's grab the first one on top here. This is a box set, it looks like. Okay, wait a minute. What? This is the asset and the solo mode. So what's this? Get out of town. Hold up, y'all. Did I ask? Maybe I asked for it. I was wondering. I was like, wait a minute. That's why when I was earlier, I was like, there's 3 things in here. I didn't know that there was 3. I'm going to do this one first. I must have asked for it. They sent me the starter set. You remember when I said I don't have the starter set? Well, I do now. Oh man, come on. How cool is that? I think I asked for it. I must have asked for it. Oh, wow. Let's go through this real quick, y'all. This is brand new starter set, right chair. Be careful. Be careful. Yeah, I'm guessing that the first case is in the starter set here. Now, this is if you didn't want to go out and you just wanted to play really quick. It has kind of like your core mechanics and rules and stuff, and you could just go and play it. That's most starter sets. So it's not like the core book and it has all the little bells and whistles and details. If you just want everything, in one box set and just be ready to go. Let's crack a lacking this open, man, and let's take a look at it. Oh man. It's stuck. Okay. Yes, I got the dice. Sorry, y'all. I'm going nuts over here. I got the dice. I got the dice. The dice, which are like what, right here over my head, right there. I got the dice now. Oh, I'm just happy because I got the dice. Oh, that's super cool, dude. Super cool. Now, there's a game catalog, which obviously for business reasons, you want the game catalog in there. Let's just go through this real quick, shall we? Okay, because I just want to flex for a quick second. Can a brother flex for a quick second? Okay. Alien? Yep, I got that. The One Ring? Yeah, I got that, unfortunately. I say that because they just didn't, their changes just from first edition. I was just so disappointed. So disappointed. Their changes from first edition, man. Just, not a good look. Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. So there's the One Ring. Tales from the Loop. Yeah, got that too. Forbidden Lands. I have the PDF version of this. Actually, more than a couple of them. Obviously, this is not going to show up on the channel because I don't do fantasy. But anyway, let's keep going. Twilight 2000, 4th edition. Oh yeah, I got that too. I got so many videos to make of theirs. It's not even funny. How do you say this? Simbaroom or Baraum? I don't know how you say it. I do have this. Again, this is dark fantasy, so you'll never see it on the channel, but I've got it. Now come on. I got everything for this. This is my game, y'all. This is my game. Vassin is my game. And I am not lying. You think I'm kidding. I have everything for this game. Everything. I do have this. This is never show up on the channel though. Is it Morkborg that I got? No, I don't have Morkborg. I have Cyborg, is what it's called. Mutant Year Zero, I got that. It's sitting right on my desk right now. The book is sitting on my desk. Coriolis, first edition. I got it. The Great Dark. I think that's what it's called. Coriolis second edition is called The Great Dark. So as you can see, I have a vast majority of Free League stuff. And I love covering their games. But anyway, I got the dice now, y'all. I got the dice. I'm excited just for that. I got the dice. I didn't know it came with the starter set. So that gives you everything. Okay, so you've got these cards here. I'm not going to open them up right now. But these just look like NPC cards. And they also look like... probably also within this is probably going to be your initiative cards because that's how Free League does things. And they also have aerial, it looks like aerial chase obstacle cards in this deck. So you definitely have your NPC cards. Those and probably your initiative cards are going to be in this deck. All right, so let's see. So this is your rules book for the starter set. You could see it's pared down quite a bit. It was 270 pages for the core book, but the rules for this is only going to be 80. That's it. So it's a pared down. You have the rules, the main rules that you can use. There's a whole lot of options that you're not going to be able to do for this. Also with the starter set, I think you don't have character creation. Let me look inside. You really don't. You don't. Um, yeah. So that's the main one. The main one is that you don't have that mechanic. You have and you see, I was right. Case file 1. Because when I got Fiery Angels, I was like, what's case file 2? It was case file 2. And I'm like, well, what's case file 1? So I was pretty this is your first called Electric Dreams. And this one here, you can find this I think uh you know one, you know another one that they don't have in that book too, also that they come out with that I have is the Electric State. Another game that I really want to play. And again, that one has the solo system inside of the core book, which is different. But anyway, I told you, I am in love with Free League Publishing, and they obviously I like what I do because if I ask for something, they pretty much send it. Probably because they know I'm going to do them right, because I'm a huge fan. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of every single thing. Like, I do not like Mork Borg, and I've got some other stuff that I just will never cover on the channel. But Free League is, you know, those are my boys. Sorry. Not sorry. Okay, let's look at what else is in here, right? So you've got the rules pared down, 80 pages. You've got your case file, which is your case, your adventure, or whatever. And these are the people you can play. That's the thing with a starter set, is that you have to play a pre-gen. They usually give you about 6 characters, maybe 8, and then you have to choose from one of those to play the case file that's within this. You get your feet wet, right? Then, if you want to go on, you'll grab the core book. Or you want to get people into this, and then they can go and grab the core book if they want it. All right, so it looked like we got a William Novak. Well, let me see. These are all your pre-made PCs. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You only have 4. Wow. So you only have 4 pre-made. Oh, duh. It's Blade Runner. So you know that's actually way more than you need. You've got you write on this? I would not write on this. You're supposed to. Ooh, I wouldn't do it. I don't like messing up my stuff like that. I wouldn't do it. Okay, so you've got looks like you've got some visual aids again. And this goes for the case file. Looks like it. Yeah, all this. Man, they got a lot of them, y'all. This is a thick. Some of these are foldable. Again, this is for Electric Dreams. And there are some on YouTube. I think Me, Myself, and Die did one when they did Electric Dreams, and he had a couple players there, and it's pretty good. So if you want to go and check that out, I don't have that in the description because I didn't know that I was going to say that, but you might want to go and check that out because that's the only one that I would even recommend. So this is another fold out. This is a map of Whoa! All right, there's a map of Los Angeles, which you could just put down. Like, if you're playing live, you just put this down, have this be the visual, and then when you have another visual that's coming up, like all the little places that we just have, put that down, and then any extra visuals that you want to create for it to show to your players. How cool is that? Wow, the entire map. Well, I just realized something. I officially have everything for Blade Runner now. I did not know. I forgot. I'm going to be honest. I forgot I did ask for this because this was the only thing I didn't have. Hey, y'all, did I mention I got the dice? I'm just so happy that I got the dice. Oh, man. So I'm really happy about this. So this is the starter set, and this is all that you get. You get the dice. That's where you get your dice in, and you get all your cards. You get a case. You get your pared down rules, and you get all of your visual aids for it. Nice. I'm excited about that. That was a nice surprise that I had totally forgotten about. So that was cool. I like that. I like that a lot. But I'm really impressed with Replicant Rebellion. Like, I'm impressed with that expansion, dude. Like, we went through that kind of a lot, and that thing is dope. I don't know what that is right now. I'm pretty sure that I have a link for it down in the description. So for all of this stuff, so if you want to go and grab this over on Amazon or Noble Knight or something like that, I might have it down, all this down in the description already. If not, it'll be afterwards. Okay, so now we can go to the box set of the asset pack in solo mode, which I'm very interested in the solo mode part of it. So let's crack open this with handy dandy trusty dusty. Let's see here. Be very careful, so don't mess it up. Okay. Yeah, nice shiny box set. Man, I'm so sorry. Oh man, I cannot get enough of these dudes. I can't get enough of these dudes, man. Tripping. Oh man. They just they make me smile. Let's take a look at this, y'all. So it's a box set. So it's very similar into the size and everything. Remember when you used to get tabletop RPGs and stuff like this, like a box set? This is the entire tabletop RPG right here. We didn't have hardcover stuff. Well, you did. Wait, yes, we did. We did have hardcover stuff, but it was a lot of games like, well, like this right here. Let me pull this out. A lot of games like DC Heroes Second Edition. Okay, this was a bigger box set, right? But you know, this was like the game, the core game, where you had this right here. This is the main thing. So this would be basically the core book, but they were all in 3 separate, like, small books. I don't know if that was cheaper. Probably was cheaper back in the day. And then somebody's, you know, everything started coming out with hardcover and all the rest of this. And then, but you did have these box sets. It's been around for a while, these box sets and hardcover. Don't get me wrong, hardcover has been around since like the 80s, but, or even before that actually. But, whoo, that new smell, y'all. That new game smell. Yeah, I do. I just announced, I don't know if I announced it on my community post here, but yeah, there is a Free League Humble Bundle going on right now, where you get pretty much all of those games that I just was telling you about, at the high level. You know how they do it. They have the different tiers and whatever. So at the high level, you get all of those. And these are all digital, by the way. But you do get those. All right, y'all, let's take a look at this. This is the asset pack. So these are the assets. So this guy is in the Replicant Rebellion. So this, yeah, these are NPCs. So you get a pack of these NPCs, which are either NPC connections and things like that you run into inside of the Replicant Rebellion part of it, not the core book. That's just Replicant Rebellion. Now, this is the new game catalog. You guys want to take a look at it real quick before we get into it? Let's do that. So this is the new game catalog. Alien. All right, you got Aliens right there, which I have. We going through Blade Runner, right? Yipper. Got the One Ring. Lord of the Rings, bro. The reason why I have this one here is because it's 5e and I hate 5e. Dragonbane, that's another one that I have. The duck, y'all. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see this. But check it. Check out the duck. Tell me that duck doesn't look cool. That's the main reason why I wanted to grab that, because of the duck. The duck is dope. Here it is. This is the new Coriolis right here, the Great Dark. I don't have that yet. I want it, but I don't have that yet. I'd like to cover that. I did cover Coriolis first edition. And like I told you, I have everything for that. I still have to do the unboxing of the starter set for that and the unveiling of Mythic Carpathia. And they've got another one called Nightmares, something in my nightmares. I forgot the name of it right now. So we still have to do this one, but I have everything for that. So yes, I didn't know there was that much stuff out for Simba Room. I had no idea, but they have quite a bit. Well, here it is. Invincible. That's coming out. And, you know, I saw it when it was coming, when they were announcing it, and I was like, I'm torn on that one. Y'all know I'm a superhero tabletop RPG aficionado, really. But that one didn't move me to want to get it. I did watch first season of Invincible and a little bit of second season, and it might be one of those situations like Blade Runner where I'm like, meh on the actual media portion of it, in terms of visual media portion of it, and then I'll like the tabletop RPG. It might be that. I'll still ask for it because you guys may like it, and I'll cover it. But I don't know if you guys know this, but they distribute Outgunned. Oh, wait a minute. Did I tell you? It's right here. I've got that too. Oh man. Now I actually got this from Two Little Mice though. Oh no. I got this from them. I got this from Free League. I think now this is what I believe. Two Little Mice are the ones who actually published this. They're an Italian company. I think Free League is distributed it here in the United States. I believe that is what is happening here, because, you know, Two Little Mice is Two Little Mice. But I have this, and I have the PDFs of all the rest of this stuff. And I just got done playing. I'm playing a solo campaign. That's what I'm doing for the solo RPG Chronicles, is I'm playing Outgunned. And I just got done doing some of that. And there it is. This is the one I was just telling you about, the Electric State. I have that one. I want to play that one. I actually made up a short little one shot that I want to probably put together a video for my. I don't know if I'm going to do this on the public channel or not. You got Tales from the Loop. They got quite a bit for that too, by the way. And I have that game. Twilight 2000. There you go. The Walking Dead. That's a new one. Yes, I have it. I just don't get into that. I'm sorry. I probably should cover it, right? I think I only have a PDF of it. I'm pretty sure I only have a PDF of it, which is probably, when I cover games on my channel, you guys will notice that I only cover games that I have in my hand. I don't cover just PDFs. That is my requirement from publishers. You got to have a little skin in the game, right? Because this is actual work, what I do right here, right now. Putting these together, putting videos together, especially if it's not a live stream, but it's a pre-made video where there's editing going on, all the rest of that stuff. Okay, that's different. Then you've got to have your skin in the game is sending me the game. Because people on YouTube all over the place that will charge you for that stuff. So I've had people like do pushback on that. And I'm just like, for one game, you can't even send me the product? And I'm not talking about the publishers. The publishers don't have pushback. I'm talking about some people who have their own channels, right? And they're like, well, you know, I just go out and buy it. I'm like, well, that's just you, right? That's not me. This is worth value. What I'm doing right here is valuable. Maybe what you're doing over there is not as valuable as what I'm doing. That's kind of how I look at it. Or you may not think of it as being as valuable, or you don't put as much time into your videos as I put into mine. But you got to have some skin in the game. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable by asking them to send me the game so I can cover it, so people can see it, what we're doing right now, which is why I have such a great relationship with them. Had a great relationship with Monty Cook too. I'm looking to see if that has changed. So, and some of you know what's going on with that. But anyway, Forbidden Lands, I only have this in PDF, and I'm not going to cover that because it's fantasy. Once again, Mutant Year Zero, I have that, and I have more than a couple of other things for it. So you've got this other one. You got a couple over here that you probably can't see. You have this one over here, right? Death in Space. Okay, this one right here, I have. This Cyborg, I have it, but I have it in as a PDF, and I did an actual, this is years ago, I did a review. This is my only review on the channel because I normally don't do reviews. And I do have Into the Odd, and I have done a video on that. You can find it on my channel. This one right here, don't want, and I don't want that one either. So, like I said, I have just about everything that they've ever made, and this is the updated catalog right here. Okay, so let's get down here and let's see what we got. So we've got, this looks like bases. That's what it looks like. Bases for like tokens or something. So this is their whole solo system. We'll get into this in a second, but this one, this is an entire, so this is their whole solo system for Blade Runner, which spans 23 pages. So it's a 23-page solo system here. We'll go through this in a second. This, apparently, let me see. Okay, this is for Replicant Rebellion again. Some of them are Replicant Rebellion, and these are, okay, these up top, some of these up top are from the core book Blade Runner, and then some of these are Replicant Rebellion. Like this is Replicant Rebellion, that one's not. This one here is from the core book. That's Replicant Rebellion, that one is, that one is, that one is. This one is core book, core book, core book, core book, core book. All right. And you have your heat meter in here. Now this is really weird, right? So you have Replicant Rebellion. It introduces the heat mechanic, but the meter for it is in this box set. So it doesn't come, because that's a book and expansion by itself. It's not going to come in this, but you do have a heat meter now that we were just talking about when we just went through. Okay. And then underneath here, I don't know what those are because they're all the same. So I'm guessing, actually, I'm not sure what these are. These are all the same. I'm not real sure what they're supposed to be. All right. But these are all cutouts that you can put inside of your base here and just put it inside there. And if you want to move it around, or if you got, you know, battle maps and anything like that. Let me see here. What else did they got in here? Wow. Whew. Man, that is a lot of stuff. We'll need the room here, y'all. So let me move this around. Wow. Wow, this is a lot of, again, it's supposed to be an asset pack. So these are the assets. Let's take a look at them. We're going to look at this in a second. Let's take a look at these. What are these? It's got two little, what the heck is that? And what is this for? Oh, this is for the spinner. This is for the heat thing. Yeah, so this here is it looks like just a bunch of assets from the just for the game. Like here you have a courthouse, right? You have these are just stuff that you could just use for, I mean, no matter what kind of campaign you could be running with Replicant Rebellion, you could be running with just uh, the core book, you could be running it with just both. These are just, you know, generic stuff. An auto repair shop. You have just a street here. It's so detailed. Yikes. Look at the detail on that, man. There's a nightclub. This looks like a highway. And it is. This looks like a club. Another club. BB's Bar. BB! No, that's not Dexter's Laboratory. What am I doing? BB's Bar is there. LAPD Tower, really? This one you probably want to use quite a bit. Even if you want to break it down, if you're one of those people who have the kind of time to do so, but you could take that map and break it down by its floors, right? So if you go here and if you look at it, you have this floor here, which you can put in one floor, and then you could do this down here and another floor, and it looks like this is a floor down here. And then you can got on the back, you have, oh, a protein farm. Oh, bro, they have stuff on the back? Wow. Wow. They have, I'm going to the back of all the other ones, right? That we just went through. Office, street. Oh, wow. This is, wow. Okay, they did this up. This is dope. Oh, this is plenty. You can, again, excuse me. You could use this for these are just supposed to be generic things that you can just pull out real quick and just go on about your business. You got a safe house here, a bar. Okay, so these are just one page ones. Safe house, bar, office, workshop, street store, and apartment. Yeah, if you're going to get into a campaign, you probably just want this just for the asset pack, to be honest, just so you can just go off and just do, not so much for the tokens, even though those are cool. Well, the heat meter is cool too. But this asset pack is packed full of stuff that you're probably going to be using. Then you have more assets, newspapers. And this is probably for that campaign. Like you said, this is probably for that campaign. And there's 3 of them. Man, these look super cool. Because they even are on kind of like, not quite, but kind of give you that newsprint feel. You know what I'm saying? And then you get different, these are like crime scene photos, right? And these are handouts that you would get given to you. And then you have this kind of like what looks like, info sheets on probably different NPCs. Yeah, it looks like different NPCs that are probably either going to be recurring or are just in that that campaign for those different operations that we were talking about. Super dope. Is there something in here? Or did I take that out of there? I took that out of here, right? I took these out of here. Okay. All right. I had to remember. I love the, now I'm again, I didn't really like the movies, but I really do dig the game. So it might be kind of odd to some people, but I really like, uh-oh. Does these go in here? I don't want to mess this up. Okay. Wow, it's a tight fit, but they go in here. Ooh, these go in here? Maybe they don't go in here. You want to know something? I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep it out for the time being. Because maybe little stuff like that goes in there. I forgot where I pulled that out from. So let's put this back in the box. Because we're going to look at this. Solo mode. So let's see how this is different from your normal game. All right. So it just gives you a little bit of setup here. It says you are a Blade Runner, detective, pursuer, killer, Negrim, neon noir, dystopian future. You investigate cases involving replicants and other regulated technologies. Using the Blade Runner RPG core rulebook, so you need that, and the tools and the guidelines contained herein, you can play as an independent investigator without the need of a game runner, GM. So it looks like you've got some tables here, which is normally the case when you're doing any kind of solo play. So they even give you a very pared down way for you to create your, I think this is just a summary of you creating your Blade Runner, and then giving your promotion and humanity points and all the rest of the stuff. So this is a checklist. So you got to have your character, ready to go. So again, this works in tandem with the core book, which you need. Or you could probably start with the starter set as well. And as long as you just take one of those characters and then, take them through this. So it says starting a case file. As a member of the RDU, you investigate cases solving replicants and other regulated technologies. So it just gives you some ideas. It says keep it simple, make it matter. And then they have over here, I think this is where we want to get into for the investigation procedure. So what they say here is proceed to a location, make a countdown event check. At the location, play one or more scenes. This isn't like a, is it? Okay, it's not. Okay, this is different. It's a different kind of system. I've been really getting into the solo play. A lot of it, by the way. Vaesen is a totally different system from this, which is a totally different system from normally for games that don't have their own solo system. I use Mythic Game Master Emulator, which is just the bomb. It's the bee's knees as far as I'm concerned. If you want to play solo for maybe a classic game that you have or something, or a game that you have doesn't have its own and you've been wanting to play that for a long time, you don't have to wait and grab everybody. That was the understanding back in the day. You'd buy a new game and then nobody wanted to play. Then you have to try to pull teeth and convince them to play, right? And you probably would get to creating a character and maybe playing a little bit, and then that's it. Let me see. Numenera and Old Gods of Appalachia make it worth overlooking. My deal is that when it comes to, let me come back to MCG. I believe these are handouts for the, okay, I'm going to come back to MCG. But this is a different system, and I like how they really take and make their system specific. It's not just kind of like, the year zero engine and different clothes, right? And they can't do it for Blade Runner like that anyway, because Blade Runner doesn't run on a year zero engine. It has its own system. It's a totally different system. So this is it looks like this is something that I am going to have to test. So it looks like I'm going to have to, and I already have a character, right? Which is a character that we had played in the one that I was telling you about. So I already have a character. But it looks like this is something that I'm just going to have to test. But it looks like you have this checklist here, 7 things that you go through. So it tells you how to do things here in the checklist. And you kind of just move from place to place. You probably have some random things that go on over here that gives you kind of like a basis. Now, if you don't know anything about playing solo, I play solo quite a bit. And you really need an imagination. If there's anything, I mean, number one, you need imagination if you're going to go ahead and play tabletop RPGs anyway, but you really need an imagination if you're going to play solo. So you have what's called scene checks, skill rolls, gathering critical successes. Critical successes, is that in the core book? I don't remember. Probably is. It's been a while since I've seen the core book. You even got your combat and chases in solo mode. But hypothesis check, that is a specific solo thing, right? So right here it has what's called hypothesis and hypothesis check. So it's asking questions and to see where the story is likely going. I'm gonna have to play this, obviously. And then I have to play this in maybe a multi-part video, or even I just have to play this for my members. And because it looks like you've got, okay, let me show these guys real quick. You have all your tables, and that's normal for a solo. You got a lot of different tables that you're probably going to go on. You're probably going to roll on. You have clue tables, character tables, as far as, who you might be meeting. Probably just kind of like generic NPCs or something that you can kind of flesh out yourself. Case briefing tables here. You have a location table in the back. This one here you're going to be using quite a bit. This is really cool, especially if you do have the if you have like the starter set and you have like the map of LA and everything. This will come in handy. You have the character trait table, so that's when you are doing like your different characters, and you want to know, okay, what's this character like that I've just met or whatever. That's where you're starting to get into that. Here you have your this is the first one, and then this is your second one as far as the trait for that particular character. Just some generic word or something, that lets you know how they're going to be, how you're going to be interacting with them. Have event tables. This is your downtime event table, and then you have your countdown event table. And then it looks like back here, just stuff that you can keep tally of your clues and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a journal. I rather keep a journal just because of how I run mine. But this is this is a totally separate system from Vaesen, which is a totally separate system from it's a totally separate system from the Electric State, which is, and I don't think that they have one for Mutant Year Zero, but that's not official. You can find it on a THRU RPG, but again, that's not official, right? It's not that great. I tried it out and it's not that great. So, okay, getting back to MCG. The thing about that is that I sincerely just want to keep it about the game. I also sincerely don't want that distracts away from the actual hobby itself. All that political nonsense. It distracts away from the hobby. And I'm not down with companies that do that at all. At all. Zero. I have zero tolerance for that. And that is because of the place we're in this culture. If we could actually talk and get along, that'd be something different. We can talk about something beyond that. It's still, I wouldn't like it because it doesn't have anything to do with the game. Because it's like, okay, just play the game, right? I certainly don't want to offer money or support to people who are in direct antithesis to what it is that I do or in who I am. Now, again, they've been totally cool about it, but they are in direct antithesis to what I do and who I am. Now, that really has nothing to do with their games unless they bring it in. Like there's other companies who are probably in direct antithesis to but they don't bring that stuff up when it comes to the game because that's stuff outside of the game. But when you want to do that, and they'll bring it up, this is a lot of publishing companies that do that stuff. That's why I don't cover a lot of publishing companies. They'll do that stuff. And they'll talk about the people who don't, they virtue signal, and they'll talk about the people who don't play their games or do the same, don't think the same way that they think or whatever and whatnot. And they basically hate their customer base. Okay, why would I want to give money or tell other people to give money? Why don't you give money to these people over here that hate you and empower them even more? I don't think so. So because of that, now again, with MCG, I had nothing, even when I left. Now you could tell that when I left, and I know somebody over there because you guys know this is a small community. So when I did that video, I didn't even tell people why I didn't say anything about why I did it, why I left. I just was like, maybe later on down the line, when they just make it about the game, we can get back on track, right? We could just keep it about the game and keep it about the hobby and keep it about the love of the story and keep it about that. I don't care how good a game is. Nobody is worth me giving money to them when they hate me. Would I do that if the Ku Klux Klan came out with a super dope game? So no, I won't do that. But if we can keep it just about the game, if we can keep it just about the game and not about all that other stuff on the outside, then I'm cool. I'm totally cool. And again, I've covered a lot of their stuff and I've been a great supporter of them until that. And it's why I have dropped people like a pancake. Dropped them hard because of that. I'm not dealing with that dude. I'm a dude on YouTube trying to cover tabletop RPGs. You want to bring in all that nonsense? Nah, dude. Especially with people and their hard-earned money and going towards that, and this is what you want to. Nah. I'm straight. I'm good. I am so good with that because no game is that important. Just isn't. And I got plenty of games, as you can see. I got plenty of games to cover, plenty of games that I can do. I still got stuff to cover from MCG because I told them I would. I just haven't covered it yet. But there's still a couple different products that I still need to cover. So it'll show up eventually. Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna. And again, if we just keep it about the game, I'm so, and I want you to understand something. I knew this about them going in. Just because I just don't say anything on the channel because I don't want my channel to be all about that kind of silly stuff. I want it to be about let's talk about games and geek out about this and that and stuff. That's what I want the channel to be about. However, even if it didn't, even if I wasn't, uh, even if I wasn't a minister, but if I was just somebody who was on the other side of the aisle, do you understand how these people talk about the other people on the other side of the aisle? It's ridiculous. I mean, they literally want to eliminate you, and they stand on that side. Now, how in the world am I going to what? Why would I recommend a company like that to support their products so they can keep going and doing that? Really? It's different having a different political opinion, but it's much different when that political opinion goes way beyond. Like, it goes way beyond the pale as far as making good sense. So when I see companies are going down that road, yeah, I don't have nothing to do with them. Like I say, ain't no game that important, and I got plenty games to cover. I mean, all this stuff that I just covered here today. We're gonna play popcorn later on. I'm gonna try to get into this solo mode for Blade Runner, which is looking dope. Gotta read through it and everything, but that looking dope, and I'll just do it with the character that I already have. And I'll make a video of it too. I'll probably make a couple different videos. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet, as far as the solo mode for this. But I just love the fact that they recognize that more people are playing solo. You got crazy people that you don't want to play with because of that very thing that I was just talking about. You get crazy people at your table, which is why RPG Elite quality number 5 is extremely important. RPG Elites do not play with any and everyone. We just don't. Because life is short and you only get one go around. And that's it. So why I'm not going to put up with that drama, right? You came to play the game, have fun, take a mental vacation, and go away. And anybody who's getting in the way of that don't belong at the table. And I'm just saying that is not really an RPG Elite quality. That should just be everybody's quality who is an adult. Crying out loud. I don't put up with that nonsense. And I do not have those problems. Like, I do not have these. You hear about horror stories of these guys with the RPG Elite philosophy and implementing it. I never have had that problem. I just don't have that problem. The RPG Elite philosophy works, which is why I am a strong proponent of it. This is why that's one of the pillars of this channel. It's not just saying RPG Elite. I'm serious as a heart attack when it comes to that. All these qualities and all that stuff and how to implement it and all the rest of that stuff. Serious. Because it really goes beyond just the game. It does. Just by virtue of what a tabletop RPG is. It goes beyond that. Right. And this is why a lot of people just start playing solo. Now, another reason why a lot of people play solo is that, okay, it's a lot of logistics that you gotta get together. You have to make sure everybody's free. You gotta set up a time. Who's bringing this and that? Whose house is it going to be hosted over? Where are we playing? All of this stuff. It's just like, wow. When you play it solo, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna play right now. Now, yeah, there's that social aspect to it that if you want that, but that's not why tabletop RPGs are tabletop RPGs. Solo mode has been around since the 80s. I mean, even mention it in the original Classic Traveler starter set. And that was what, 83? They have solo modules for that DC Heroes that I just showed you. They have solo modules for classic Marvel superheroes. So solo mode, per se, in the concept, that's been around like forever. It didn't really get popular until, Mythic really laid the gauntlet down, and it was pretty much, it's been over since then, which was in the early 2000s, something like that. And so now a lot of different, and a lot of people are just busy sometimes. They can't, maybe they only want to play for an hour, right? Because normally when you do a session, it's what, 3-4 hours, something like that, minimum. So maybe you don't got the time to do that. Maybe you just want to sit down, relax for about an hour, hour and a half, and just, get into the world, whatever world that may be. Okay, but playing solo is the way to go, right? That might be what my boy Sean is doing right now. Who knows? He probably got this and was like, let me do this, let me play. Since he can't, it's hard for people, especially busy people, right? But even busy people need to take a break. They need a mental break. Many times it's not getting together with a group. There's been some people, I've got somebody who's in my group they run a game and they've been in the same group for 25 years or 30 years or something like that. Bravo. My right hand man that I've been playing with this dude for 20 years. But that's one guy. Because all the other people who I used to play with back in the day, I don't play with them anymore. They don't meet the standard. So I extricate myself from it. It's not like they haven't asked. I'm just like, nah, I'm good, man. I hope you guys have a good time. And I'm not just saying that. I hope they have a good time. They just aren't looking for the same thing that I'm looking for as an RPG elite. So I just let them go on about their business. They don't quite understand it, and I get it. And a lot of times there's people who don't quite understand it. But anyway, um, I'm looking forward to getting into this solo play. Blade Runner, baby. Solo mode. Good stuff that we have gone through here today. Very good stuff. I really both of those things are really good to get. Like the starter set is good for you if you want to get the dice and you want to get the dice and the cards. So you need to go over to get the starter set. If you want, now you can buy the dice separately. But you might as well just get the starter set if you just want to start people off. And this is one of those great games that you can start because it doesn't have a lot of people that are required. It specifically requires a very small group, 2, max 3 players, and a game runner. And that's it. Solo mode works perfectly for a game like this. You just would be playing like the original movie Blade Runner because it was just for one guy on that one. And so we've got the asset pack, which if you're going to be running something for any length of time, for a long amount of time, then the asset pack is good just for the visuals, just for your generic visuals, all these generic visuals and even for the little tokens, just to have some kind of representation when you are on the table, maybe combat breaks out or whatever, you can have something that represents you. So that's good for that. So it depends on what you want. Now, if you really want to get into the game deep, get Replicant Rebellion. I am floored by that expansion. That expansion is dope. Get Replicant Rebellion. It really gets deeper into the moral conflict of everything that's going on. Just that there's something really cool about that. But that's only if you want to expand. You can do the core book and the asset pack in solo mode and be good to go, right? You don't need the dice. We all know the dice are just, kind of fluff, and I'm just happy because I have them. But you don't need them. If you want them, again, you can buy them separately, or you can just get the starter set. This is a good game, again, for them small groups. So, yeah, man, that was worth it. But today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play popcorn later on, probably about 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. My boy's going to come over. We're going to leave. I'm going to leave right now. And there was something that I said for you to remind me of. And I remembered that I said that, but I forgot exactly what it was that I wanted to say. I'll have to think of it another time, I guess. But we've got next month in a live stream. I don't know what we're doing because this month obviously was Blade Runner with their new one. I don't know what we're doing next month. I might have a poll put up to see what you guys would want. Maybe Fragged Empire. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to let you know that tomorrow is the last day to get in on the giveaway that I'm going to be having for this month and every month thereafter. And I have been showing people what that is. It's this little bronze dice spinner. I showed it before, and I'm going to be giving that away this month. But you have to be part of the Lead Squad. And so the only way to do that is to click on that link down in the description. It's the first link that you see. If you haven't joined the Lead Squad yet, you want to get in on the giveaways, you want to get in on a private element chat server, you want to know things before they come out, you want to get in on, kind of like the Lead Squad only polls and Lead Squad only videos that I come out with every once in a while. All of that stuff is what you get with the Lead Squad. And all you need to do is just join via an email. That pretty much is it. So yeah, man, go out and grab this. If you thought any of this was, I'm digging this. I really am digging this. I just really like the game so much more than I like the movies. Like so much more. You want to be inspired by the movies, but I can't. The movies don't do it for me. The game does though. So all I have to do is actually just read the game, and I'm pretty much inspired just by reading the game. But all right, y'all. So I got some more content to make. Probably I'm going to see this, parts of this video chopped up somewhere later on in the next month or something. Because, again, that's how you do it. You chop up the videos and you make extra content, and you really don't have to do much else after that. And after what are we at now? 2.5 hour stream. I think I probably got at least some shorts and some clips and some stuff like that. I don't like doing shorts so much. I don't know. Like shorts they don't really do much for me. Like I watch a short and I've never ever watched a short and subscribed to somebody's channel. I've only subscribed to somebody's channel after watching like a clip or a few longer clips or a longer video. Those are more conducive to growing your audience and all the rest of that stuff. So I have done some shorts, but I probably won't be doing a whole lot of shorts from this stream. Probably be doing a lot of clips and things like that. I wanted to get into Spider-Man Noir or Spider-Noir. It's Spider-Noir. The new series that just came out, the new television series that just came out. But you want to know something? I'm thinking, should I do it now or should I do it later as a separate video? Because I kind of wanted to bring in the Marvel, because I have everything for the Marvel. This is another thing. I have everything for the new Marvel game, everything for the old Marvel game. Let me see here. What to do. I guess because I got everything set up right now. I got the trailer set up, and we can go and we can watch the trailer, and then I can comment on it. But you want to know something? Let's do that in a separate vid. I'll do that in a separate video. So thank you for all of you who stuck around, saw the live stream, or if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching it on the replay. And we've got some stuff next month. It was supposed to be Tales from the Loop this month, but then they came out with Replicant Rebellion. So I don't know what we'll do next month. I'm not sure, but we'll put something together. I might have a poll up, so look for that. But that's it, y'all. It's me, your boy, signing off. Peace. 5,000 leets.